And indeed, he did do it all over again, but with 5 different guys from Ireland. In pop, timing is everything.
The genius of Louis Walsh.
Yes.
The demise of Boyzone and the overtaking of Westlife, it was very well timed.
He was clever. He was very clever. I mean, he knew Boyzone were coming to an end, and Westlife. They're great. I like the guys. I think they're great singers and all. But at that time, they literally did just step into Boyzone shoes.
Yeah.
I remember comments from him saying, "Oh, Boyzone are old hat. Boyzone are old hat." You know, pushing Westlife. You know, absolutely clinical man.
He had a massive boy band, Boyzone. They were still selling records, but he knew they were splitting up. They were done. And he thought, do you know what? I'm just going to get another group exactly the same, younger, to do exactly the same thing, to take over.
While I was managing Boyzone,
myself, Kian and Mark were in musicals and stuff like that. We became together and became friends and stuff like that through school and stuff. Then we met Louis Walsh.
I got this call one day from a woman called May Filan in Sligo, and she knew my family, and she said, my son is a star. And she was right, because she is Shane Filan's mother, and she wanted me to go and check out the band.
But it wasn't just Louis who was checking them out.
I went down to see them for the first time when they were known as a band called IOU. There were 6 of them in the band. 3 were possibly the ugliest people I've ever seen in my life. 3 were fine. And I said to Louis, drop those 3, bring in some more, and I'll give you a deal.
Simon Cowell came over. You know the famous Simon Cowell? Darling. He came over to see the band, and they were just 30 seconds into the first song. And Cowell just turned to me, you know, and he says, "You've got a deal, darling. You've got a deal. We've got stars here." So that was it.
About 3 months later, I went to see them as a new band. I called them Westlife. I signed them on the spot, and they completely took over from Boyzone as soon as we launched them.
We are going to be compared to Boyzone, I think, no matter what, because we were 5 guys from Ireland, and the only other 5 guys from Ireland to do that was Boyzone.
But there was more of a connection than that. Louis Walsh was their manager, but he employed a co-manager who just happened to bring with him all those grieving Boyzone fans. Isn't that the cleverest thing you've ever heard?
And Ronan hears the boys singing. He says, "Oh, they're great, it's fantastic." He said, "They remind me of early Boyzone and all the rest." So he gives them a lot of advice, and Ronan and I co-managed the band for maybe the first year or so.
OK, we'll get Ronan to look after Westlife, and that's the link between the Boyzone fans and the Westlife fans. It's just kind of a marketing man's dream.
Some find you cheering every morning. Some in the sun.
Flying Without Wings was released in 1999 and became a Westlife classic.
This song is a smash. At one point, it was being considered for Stephen Gately. I said, well, Stephen Gately can't sing.
I remember getting that song sent to me, and there was a few people interested in singing the song, and I was one of them.
We recorded the song, it became a #1, but it's become their signature record. A fantastic song.
Westlife ended up doing it, but I loved the song as soon as I heard it.
Flying Without Wings.
All right then.
No, because
sweet love.
No, wait. Flying Without Wings was the song that really made me go, oh wow.
You found that special thing. You're flying without wings.
Flying Without Wings is, to this day, still probably our favourite song we've ever done.
I love the guys, I love their voices and all, but I think a lot of their songs to me was just like the same.
Westlife are very one-dimensional. They can only really do ballads, and they can only do slow songs.
One-dimensional they may be, but that dimension has given them over 10 #1 singles, 3 #1 albums, and traffic-stopping fame everywhere they go. Hats off to them.
You can't knock them, they've done well for themselves, and, you know, best of luck to them, and, you know, I hope they last a long time.
The same thing is going to happen to whoever comes after us. they're going to get compared to Westlife.
When Take That split up, there was a need for another Take That. Boyzone were brilliantly poised to take over, and then Boyzone stood aside and Westlife took over. It's the law of diminishing returns. They get worse, the bands get worse. Westlife will eventually split up because they're all married members of other pop bands, and they'll be all old, you know, they've all reached sort of 24 or something, they'll have to split up. Then there'll be another band who we've yet to see, who'll be worse than Westlife, will sell even more records, will have 50 number ones consecutively in less than 50 weeks. They'll have more than one number one a week. It'll be amazing. But you'll only have to sell 7 or 8 copies to get to number one, and then the world will end.
What's the betting that Louis Walsh isn't on the lookout for 5 new lads from Ireland?